Let's see. Oops, did I take that? Okay. I don't know if I took that out. All these leaks of Rise of Skywalker. It's hilarious. Profile. There we go. Wait, where's it? Why can't I copy that link? I guess. Let's see. Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Man, let's see. I think if I just bring it around this top part. Let's see. Oops. Let's switch it over. Oop, dang it. It's a little bit too much. Do this back one. Okay, I think I like that better. Let's see. think that's just me do all this over again. I think if I just do it around the head, oops. Gotta figure out a better way to record this so it doesn't just look like it's just sitting there. When I try to record it with my webcam, it looks overexposed. So, and this stupid app that records the screen, or rather mirrors it. Oops, did I go too far? Yeah, I did. That mirrors it. It doesn't actually show it when it's zoomed in, which is, I don't know, it's kind of stupid to me. I guess it's, well, that's what the name says. It mirrors it. It doesn't actually, like, just see a live capture of it. All right. What I'm doing is trying to make a selection. So it just sits there and seems like I'm doing nothing. Okay, now I made the selection. Need to make this brush bigger. Make like gradation. I like to use grain brushes. I don't know. I can't go through all of the people who, like, I don't know, it makes me get some of that old airbrush feel, even though it's grain, but like, I don't know, it just gives me that from when they used to color some certain comics back in the 90s. Okay. So I think now I could start doing like these triangular sections selections that I like doing. And then honing in on, oops. Make the brush smaller. There we go. There we go. It would seem easy to do triangular selections with an angular style, but sometimes certain areas just don't, how do you call it? You have to think about how you're going to do it, you know. Let's see. Let me see what that does. For me, it's like a lot of experimenting and just kind of seeing what works. No, I think I need to. It may just be, oops, did that again. It's actually more complicated because then you got to sit here and think. Like, oops, actually, let's do it like this. Make one line across. You can't see what I'm doing, but just know that I'm doing it. Even though nobody's watching right now, people watch on the playback. I'm going to try to start streaming a lot more for what I'm doing because I'm moving further and further into this. Let me see. I could definitely do one at the back of his head. And the way I do it is I use them. I do like highlights and stuff. And then I'll do a little, like a more of a sliver, like a little sliver of a, I don't know if you could see it on the noses and stuff. I do like a little sliver of a triangle or a triangular shape. And then I go even harder with the brush and make that the highlight, like I'm sorry, not the highlight, but the specular. So, but all the rest of the stuff, even when I do something at like the back of the head where the light's not really hitting it fully, but you have some coming from the top, so then I just make it light enough to where it gradates into the color of the regular color of the neck, not the or the head, not the shadow color, but the regular local color for the skin tone. And then it looks like the light falls, like it's rounding, right? So, and that's what you want, because that's the rendering that you're doing. You're trying to render the light and give the drawing, or in this case the color, like give it a form, depth, volume, all that. So then I'm going to come from the back. Well, no, actually, let me do it like I did the other guy. Just kind of slightly bring it in. See? And then it falls. If you can see the back of his neck above his ear, this guy, the bald guy here with the white shirt, you can see it fall off like that. And then it runs right into the main shadow in the back of the head. And sometimes you can even like take that shadow and you can make another triangular shape within it. And then just barely add some of this, some of the light, just a little bit. Actually, I think because it's underneath it, it might not work. Let me see. Okay, no, that's adding too much. Okay. Oh, there we go. I'm trying to do it lightly, sometimes you have to. And then if you take it off, then it kind of looks like the light, like a bounce light, but I don't really need that there. If I was going to put it anywhere, I put it like towards the nape of the neck. Right, so then I would, where he has the ink, go, the pull-outs from the blacks there going into the nape of the neck. So then I would make a triangle that has the, I guess what you would call the top point going downwards, sort of like an arrow pointing down. And then what I would do is I would go from that point upwards and start adding just a little bit, and then deselect it. And then you can see it, like if I unselect it and then undo it and then redo it, you can see that the light is coming in slightly. And I like doing that in areas where it just really like gives it nice contrast. It pops out. And sometimes I don't need to do all triangles. I can do like these, sort of like a rectangular shape. But it's all about making them interesting. And it's about like choosing where. It's very important. It seems easy, but it's actually harder because you have to really think about your shapes. I'm sorry, how you choose where to place them, and not only to where to place them, but how to take certain areas and consolidate your shapes, and not just put a bunch of shapes. If you want contrast in shaping, you're gonna put like big shapes for like the main focal point, and then you're gonna put little small shapes maybe in the foreground or the place that's not the focal point, in order to have like a contrast of busy and not busy. Microphone not working? Microphone not working? Microphone not working? Microphone not working? Let me see. Okay, no, that's adding too much. Okay, I know. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't stay repeating and repeating. No way for me to really check. Okay. I'm gonna add just a little bit here on the left side of his neck towards his face, the front of his face or whatever. And again, I'm going with the triangle. And just barely put a little bit in there. Okay, there we go. And then the triangle to the right, triangle shape. But just barely, I don't really want to put too much light there. And that's what you're doing really, is you're putting just a little bit of light where it should go. And then underneath his jawline, where his goatee is, I'm going to do another triangle section there. And this is what I'm talking about as far as bringing in more light, like the bounce light. And instead of going from the top part of the selection that I made, like from the top part of his face down, I'm going from underneath the chin. So just putting it in there. I don't even know if you guys can see that the way this selection, the way this setup is, to where you know, all you can see is like the main image. You can't see what I'm zooming in on. So I don't know if you can tell, but I can undo it, see, and then re-add it back. It's right there under the chin where the jowls are at. So just enough to know that the light's reflecting onto his shirt, since it's white, right? From his shirt under his neck. And I think I want to put a little bit more there. So add just a little bit more. There we go. I think that might work. Yeah, I think you can see that now. And there probably should be some on his actual like Adam's apple area, but I don't want to put a whole lot. It's just a slight bit. And I generally go like, you can't see this, but there's a selection area. And then there's the rest of it, which is all like these lines that are like animated, like it is in Photoshop with the little, they call the ants, or the marching ants. Well, anyway, I start from the area that's not selected, and I just start circling, and I move slowly up towards the area that I selected, and then that way I just get a slight bit of it inside of there, inside of the area that I want it in. Let's see. I'll say hello to whoever's watching. Okay, so now I'm going to go back up to the back of the head. Now to make a selection across the back of the head in another triangle shape. And then I was kind of thinking of bringing the light up from the bottom, but I don't think. Just a little bit, not too much. Okay. I don't like that. Okay, let's try. Let's try this. I'm gonna try like a smaller shape that's sort of floating in the middle. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Okay. Okay, let's actually do one here, and then it's at the back of the right side of the head from our vantage point. And then that one, I'm going to bring the light not from the top of the head, but from the back of the head, more like the side, to just kind of, sort of like how a rim light would work. Sorry about that. Okay, that's all right. Well, actually, I think I need to put a little bit more so that it's noticeable. Yeah, there we go. And then I think I'm going to put a smaller triangle, like, well, not necessarily small, but no. Those shapes oppose each other, and that's not good. They need to flow. Actually, you know what? I think might just be best to just do a different kind of a shape. Let's see how this works. Sometimes you have to kind of like break your own rules. Yeah, actually that works too. Let's see. Do like a rounded selection, and then put like some spots to make the brush small. That's actually like, this needs to be brighter. And then this one needs to be like more dull. Oops, that's a little too much. Damn, okay. Undo the selection. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I think I need to somehow soften that little area up. Let's see if I can. Oops. I know what to do. I'm going to take that area and then just kind of brush over the top here. And soften that up. Wait. Okay. So, okay. See it? Yeah, that works. It's just really about experimenting, because, the only thing about this section now is it looks a little too bright compared to everything else, right? And it makes the skin tone look like really off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of undo all that. And since I'm using a mask layer, I don't want to get rid of what I did already. Down on the neck. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the whole top of his dome. And I'm just going to kind of try to do this a little more traditionally and only add like little triangular sections for like some highlight on like the top of the head, and the rest is just going to be the way it normally is. But since I'm using a mask, it's non-destructive. So what I do is you use white to reveal the layer underneath, and that layer underneath is basically, oops, I don't want to get rid of that. The layer underneath is actually the same layer of all the colors, which are called flats, except that you set it on a blending mode that makes it look like lighter, brighter color, like the same colors, but just brighter versions. And then when that layer is filled with black, what it does is hides, the brighter version. And then you can make selections and paint in that brighter version wherever you want it. So I can take the color wheel, which you can't see me using right now, and then I turn it all the way to black. And I could drop in. I used a little, well, you can't see it on the screen here, but there's like a little thing that shows me the color that I'm currently using, but then I can click my pencil on it, drag, and it turns into like a little circle of color, and then you drop it in that area and it'll fill it all in. Okay, so then I can kind of start all over again. Let me see how I want to do it this time. So I don't think I'm going to just fill it all in. I think I'm just going to I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go do angular selection for the topmost edge of his head, not the very, very tip top, but like a third of the top. And then I'm going to go ahead and make that bright and then have the other. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to do that, but I'm going to first do the bulk of the top of the head, so that way I can then add the other one on top of it, and it doesn't cause any conflict in the way that the colors are layered. In other words, I was doing it backwards, so I don't want to do that. And then I'm going to go across that triangle shape at the back of the head, and then those are going to be like triangle shapes to be just a slight bit of light to look different. Oops. Okay. Can't see me, but I'm making selections. Okay, and then I'm taking that. Okay, so now I'm gonna gotta turn this color back to white so that it'll make sure it's all the way to max. So now got my brush. I'm gonna make it a little bigger so I get a wider area. Oh shoot, that's too big. So now you can see that I'm adding the light in. Right, just a little bit of light, and then I'm gonna start adding in the highlight, and that's gonna be one thing. If you're gonna color, especially if you're gonna color your own books, it's a really good idea to learn about the human head and learn the planes of the head. Sketch Lab has is it Sketch Lab or Sketchfab? I think it's Sketchfab. Anyway, they have a model. It's called the Sorrow, I think it is. Oh, excuse me. Named after John Asaro. It's the Sorrow model of the head, and it shows you the planes. And when it's turned, the light changes, right? So you can see where the shadow will hit, And it's a good thing to use as a reference to understand, where the light's going to fall and the shadow will end up. And I believe the way that it looks is like sort of a 3-value and probably don't understand that. Some people might not. But basically shadow, halftone, and light. So it kind of pretty much works that way. It's very simplified, but just enough for you to kind of, figure it out. So now I'm just trying to, because the way that he drew it, it's sort of like from the back of the head, it's sort of flat. You know what I mean? It's almost 2D the way he drew it. And then the front has a lot more of the 3D and the planes. But if the selections that you make, if you understand, like I said, the planes of the head, and you understand a little bit of perspective and all that, which is like very good rudimentary things to learn, even if you're not going to actually draw, just practicing it a little bit, understanding it, that'll help you a lot when you're coloring. So a lot of people who color can draw very well, So now I've got the thing, and you're going to see what I'm doing here in a second as soon as I. Okay, so now I'm going to bring just a little swipe across the top there. Okay, you can probably see it now. And then I'm going to come across the front of the head, add another swipe, kind of hit it a little bit harder just to kind of get a more of a specular highlight there. And then I'm just going to add just a tiny bit in the front, right? Because I'm going to add another, another selection that'll, this is where I can do a triangle at. So that's across where I'm at right now is across the portion of the forehead above the eyebrow. So now I'm going to go directly above it and like go back and forth and go down. And then bring it in like that. Yeah. And then I'm going to go again. There's a selection that I have that you just saw hit with color. And then outside of the forehead is the selection, that the area that can't be drawn on, right? So I'm in that area again, and I'm just going from that area and just pressing harder and harder, and it's spreading the color into the area. So then it makes it, brighter and then sort of slightly fall off. That gives it a more detail. Okay, and then I'm gonna add another shape here. This way, that way. I'm going kind of back over where I was, except this time I'm gonna just sort of get a shape that's across the side of the head. Come up with your own style, and part of that is sometimes you just break the rules of your own style, and just instead of like me doing a bunch of triangles on this, I'm gonna have to just do something different in order to make it work. So now you can see I'm adding that there, but I don't really like the way that is. So I think I'm gonna come from the left side of his head and bring it in like that. That way, see. Now, I got to address the fall over from the top of the head, the rendering. So I'm just going to let it fall down a little bit more over the head, kind of round it out. There we go. I think, no, because now the other top part, like it looks, you can tell like it's not blended well enough. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to do little circular type shape and then blend it in. There we go. I think that might not go over well. No, let's go back. Okay. Actually, I'm going to go from the bottom of the shape that I made. Go upwards. See how that works. There's a way to do this. I'm going to figure it out. Let's see how that goes. See, it's just that area where I put the triangle at. See, that's where we're having the problem with. Let's see. Actually, let's go back. And when we make the shape, when I made that shape, I'm going to go back and I'm going to just add an area to it that goes, so that that one part doesn't look blended. Okay. Oops. Kind of went over into the other area that I didn't want to. Okay, so now let's do that again. Okay, let's see how that. Okay, I think that's going to come out a lot better. Yeah, that works. Sometimes you're just experimenting. You don't even know if it's going to work or not. You're just doing it. Okay. I think I'm going to leave it just a little bit of that area there. I don't know what I'm doing right this second. I'm just trying to... See, there we go again. See, I'm making it... Okay, I know what to do. I'm just going to Okay. I think that's good. I don't think I need to really Okay, let's see. I think just barely adding that light into there. Okay, I think that, yes, that looks a whole lot better. There we go. And I'm doing, this is all new. I'm not an expert. I just started learning how to color because it was cheaper for me, because honestly, if I could have paid someone, best believe I would have. But nowadays, or rather in these times, man, you just gotta do it yourself. But the thing is that being in Comicsgate, man, you're taking a risk, anyway. So you just gotta go for it sometimes. Just gotta try to see what works. And the good thing is that because of the way that we're doing this, like grassroots indie, and you have, this isn't like the 90s where, you had to have a publisher, or even if you were doing it yourself, trying to trying to get approval from people, like trying to see if people would like it. You have to do ash cans and all that, but that's expensive in and of itself. You know what I mean? But now, I mean, gosh, you go straight from tablet to social media and post something up, and you know what I mean. And before you know it, everybody will, weigh in, and you say, "What do you like?" You could do the same page two different ways, and then post it on there and do a poll and say, "What do you like better?" And it works. People want to see it. They want to see what you're doing. They want to be a part of it. And why not? They're putting their money into it. They're already a part of it. Oops. So then you just give them the opportunity. Okay. There we go. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like it. And then I think I'm gonna. All right. So that seems to be better. And I wonder if I could do another shape here from the top part of the head. Let's see. Okay, that works. I like that. Let's see if I can select the shape. Okay, no, I have to. It's because I'm referencing the flats. I don't want to reference the flats, brother. Let's see if I can select that area. I can get. All I want is just a little bit so I can try to add a little bit more light here. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay. I think that's good. I don't want to do too much to it. Maybe add one more specular. Oops. I accidentally had it on the wrong kind of selection. No. Doing like a little smaller selection. Okay. And then let's put some specular on his cheek. Oops. There we go. And then let's put some here. Except I want to go like, oops. I want to, when you select too close to your beginning selection, like the beginning point that you selected, Procreate just knocks you out of there. Okay, I want to make it look kind of like his crow's feet. Oh wait, actually I shouldn't have put the light coming in from that way. Put it in from the opposite way. Okay, there we go. Oops. You about to get my channel striked over there. Playing copyrighted music in the background, man. Get a little piece in here by the nostril. I don't know if you can see what I just did, because can't freaking zoom in. Okay. Let's see if I can I gotta get some over here on the ear. Yeah, this style is definitely gonna take me longer than the one I'm doing for the main book. I'm 44, and like growing up, I remember a lot of art from the 90s that was like when things were a little more Afrocentric, and so there was a lot of art that did like that utilized a lot of shapes, and that's what it reminds me of when I do this type of a style. Is like that same thing, especially like they would make these airbrushed like airbrush paintings that you would hang up in like doctor's offices or different places, and they were airbrushing, but they were doing the same thing where they were using like a lot of these shapes to make up the picture, right? So it gives me that same feel. Which of course, you know, that's what I'm going for. I'm going for the older feel. I don't care about modern comics really. If that offends anybody or you don't like Comicsgate, well, you know what you can do. I mean, I'm not trying to turn anybody away, but I'm definitely not going to force you to like something you don't like. Or if you think that we're whatever you think we are. It's and phobes. I gotta have me my it's and phobes. Boom. Take that out. Yeah, man. Sometimes the little bits, they look cool like that. I started watching this. I don't really even like animes, but I heard about this manga called RONIN Kenshin or something like that. I don't know. There's an anime of it, so I just started watching it. It's actually really good. It's funny, and there's action and all that. But I read something about it. I think that kind of it sort of reminds me of what's going on in this prequel story, as far as like the mysterious person who it excuse me who's a wanderer. He's a Ronin, because that's what this is. Johnny's Law Ronin. Running without a master. Okay. Adding some more to the guy across from him. Some more highlight. Oops. Hope my power doesn't run out on this. Actually, not my tablet, but my Apple Pencil. No, I don't think I like that. I'm up here trying to do something on his top of his forehead. Trying to add some specular highlights. And when the triangles work, it's like really fun actually to do it. Let's see. Definitely something different, a way of doing it. I think that's what I'm going to do is like this next week, try to look for some of those old airbrush paintings I was talking about, and then kind of just look at how they approached it, study how they did it. Oops, that's why I have it down so low. It's not what do you call it? The opacity of it. Now I'm just making these crazy like triangular shapes. Not actually triangles necessarily, but why is it not? Doesn't seem to be. Let me see. Classic. Okay. Saturation's down. Brightness all the way up. That's weird. It doesn't seem to. I'm on the right layer. Yep. Okay, well, maybe I could do another layer of like a really light brown on top later when I do touch-ups. Now I'm going to go on his nostril and do a little bit. The same thing I did on the other one. Okay, there we go. Man, I love it because it carves everything out, shapes, carves everything to make it, then you start like seeing other things that just start sticking out. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that actually. Let's see. This guy in the purple suit, I've been kind of, the one with the glasses, I've been kind of like letting him chill back here. Let me see if I can do something with his glasses. Yeah, I like that. Let's see. Yeah. Let's try it differently though. See here if we can get. Let's try it a different way. See how this works. Oop, don't want to do it too much. I want it to gradate. There we go. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Let's see. I don't know if that's gonna. Nah, I don't like that. Shape is ugly. It's just two separate triangle shapes. Oops. There we go. Actually, that just gave me an idea. Let me see. Undo that and undo the other one. Let's see, I don't know what that's. Let's see. I think it's those other. That's what I think it is. The shadow part that I put in the background makes it all look wonky. So how about I just follow the shapes that are already here? Oops. Yeah, I think this pen is going out. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that looks better. Sometimes you just got to do it another way. This one has more triangles. So it should turn out better. Or rather, it should turn out like what I was trying to do. Okay, I think that's it for that. Then select over here. Okay, there we go. works. And then let's see. Okay. There's going to be more on top, I think, because this I'm just going to do like a rectangular type shape. Wait. Oop, no, that's too much. Do a little shape in this little ornamental piece on the side of the glasses. There we go. I don't think the frames need that. I mean, the earpiece. I mean, I don't know what that's called. The parts that go over the ears. I don't think it needs too much light. There we go. Just enough. That's my notification sound. If you guys don't know what blyat means, B-L-Y-A-T. Go look it up. It's a Russian. It's a Russian thing. It's not appropriate, but it's definitely like a meme. Dang it, why is that hitting so hard? I can't get it to like not go so hard. Okay, there we go. Oops. Oh, come on. I think this is going to be it here. Come to a stopping point. Just hitting that guy's nose a little bit and putting a little bit of light in there. It seems like it's too much though. Jeez, that's like a lot for his skin tone. Okay, I think that's better. Yeah, I think that's all right. Across the tip of the nose. And this little area on the side of the nose, a little bit over the nostril. Oh, dang it, man. Why is it so hard? Okay, I think that's better. I think I'm going to hit this part like on the curve of the nostril because I think it needs some sort of bit of light hitting it. And then I'm going to do the forehead real quick. And I think I'm going to call it. Okay. There we go. looks cool. And I'll just do the sides real quick, since it's pretty much... Oh, no, I don't want to delete that. Let's see here. Go from the bottom and bring the light upwards. And then do this other side. And there we go. There we go. Well, for whoever stepped in for a little bit, thanks for coming by. And for those who will see this later, appreciate you watching it. All right, y'all take it easy. Peace.